Welcome to the Business Leadership Series, where we engage with leaders who are making an impact on their worlds and who want to share their knowledge and experience for your personal and professional growth. The following interview is designed to inspire you to become the best leader you can be. Your host, Derek Champagne, is the founder and CEO of The Artist Evolution, a full-service agency building successful brands, marketing tools, and campaigns, and also the author of the best-selling book, Don't Buy a Duck. And now, let's begin today's Leadership Series interview.
Welcome to the Business Leadership Series, where our goal is to inspire you to become the best leader that you can be. I'm excited about our guest today, Giuseppe Grammatico. He's a franchise veteran, a coach, consultant. He simplifies the process of franchising and excels at guiding his candidates to the business model that best suits their desired lifestyle. His greatest joy is helping people realize the American dream and sharing the freedom that comes from franchising. He's the author of Franchise Freedom, a new manifesto for your financial and time freedom, as well as the host of his podcast, Franchise Freedom. Giuseppe, thanks for spending a few minutes with us today.
Derek, I appreciate it. Looking forward to it. And you're one of the few that actually pronounced my name correctly, so I appreciate that. It's a difficult one.
I went back and because I've been on your podcast, I've listened to some of your episodes. I like your podcast, and so I made sure I wrote it the way that I needed to pronounce it. So it was very intentional. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
That should be a note for people is when you're meeting somebody or talking to them, make sure you know how to pronounce their name.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Hey, Giuseppe, I want to hear a little bit, just give us some of your background. You've got a cool story of kind of a career transition from employee to a business owner. Tell me about that and tell me kind of what that aha moment was for you.
Yeah, so I'm first generation Italian. Grew up, in the family business. We own a restaurant, so I got some really good experience owning and running a business with my family, and decided restaurants weren't the right fit. So studied in school, first person in my family to go to college, and got a corporate job. Paid really well, moved up the ladder really quickly, and was miserable. Long commute, over 2 hours each way. Went back to grad school, figured, all right, I'm going to go back to grad school. It's going to open up some more opportunities, which it did. Got another corporate job, moved around, interviewed, and just was not happy. So I said, something's got to give. I don't think it's a new job or new industry. I really think it's, owning a business as I did with my family years ago. So I'd worked with a business coach, did a little bit of soul searching, figured out, what, I don't want to, specifically working with that coach, reinvent the wheel, new product or service. So went the franchise route, wasted a lot of time looking at franchises to realize after working with a franchise coach and consultant that really needed to paint a picture of what I wanted, and only figuring out after, basically what I wanted, then figuring out a couple franchises that fit that ideal model, that ideal business. So that's kind of the long end of it, but just was not happy, was not fulfilled. Money was great, but money isn't everything. And that's how I got into business ownership.
Well, thanks for sharing that. I've been an owner in a franchise, and I've been an owner of startups. Mm-hmm. And I've been an owner in some established companies that brought me in. Talk to me about how do you choose? Like, what is someone looking for? Because you said something really important is you looked at a bunch of things and wasted a lot of time and looked around a lot. Like there's a lot to it. So how does someone even start the process to even know if they should consider a franchise, if they should know if they should leave what they're doing currently as an employee, or even should it be a startup or a franchise? Like, give us some insight there.
Correct. So the short answer is it's what works best for you. I have a podcast. I have a book. A lot of it revolves around franchising. Full disclosure, franchising as well as business ownership is not the right fit for many people. It's based off of what you're looking for. So number one is figuring out if business ownership is right for you. Is this the right time? And I provide a lot of education regarding that. You don't have to quit your job to own a business. There are many people that have a job and have a side business, a side hustle, a franchise. And there's many options, and we could talk at length on that. But figuring out if you really want to own a business, in my opinion, no one wants a business. And I'll repeat that. In my opinion, no one wants a business. They need a business. Why do they need that business? For a particular outcome. the outcome is freedom of time, freedom of financial freedom, right? Freedom of a relationship, as we call it, of being able to work with the people you want, not being stuck at a job where you're kind of, this is your manager, these are your coworkers, et cetera, et cetera. So, truly figuring out if business ownership is the right fit. And then from there, it's kind of, I split it, and there's obviously many options, but do you want to go franchising or startup? Very simply put, do you want a business built for you, what we call a business in a box, where everything is kind of set up, the product or service, you just need to implement? Or do you want a startup? Which is better? Once again, depends on what you specifically are looking for. What are you looking to accomplish? What's going to make you happy? And I work with everyone on figuring out which path, and I can help you either way, deciding which is the right fit, and then what the next steps are. And one key, and this is not to sell franchises in any way, but one thing I see is most people in the startup phase, I'm going to do it on my own and figure it out, ends up costing them a lot more than a franchise, whether that be in capital or time. In many cases, 10 years will go by, that business plan is collecting dust, and they don't do anything with it. So franchising is a good way to get into business ownership. And then that next business doesn't have to be a franchise. It could be a startup. You could do both. So that's kind of my advice. Figure out if you want to own a business and the reasons. You want the system in place for you, you want to do it on your own. And then obviously we can talk at length, but the different industries and amounts of capital you need. So there's a lot to consider.
Thanks for that advice too. And my first business was a franchise, and that was the only one I had as a franchise. But I really learned a lot from that about inventory and processing and sales, and I learned it within a structure that I wouldn't have learned otherwise on my own. And it actually gave me a lot of the skills that I needed to even have the qualifications to try a startup later.
Right.
I learned most of my skills within those parameters of a franchise.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And that's one of that system in place. You can, maybe not the exact system, but you can implement that in your future businesses as well.
You say on your back of your book, you don't know what you don't know, which is so true, and make a mistake because you don't have the experience to ask the right questions can be expensive, even devastating. How do you vet over 400 franchise companies? Then you find the right one later to find out the territory is already sold out. Doing it yourself effectively isn't really an option. Talk about just a little bit more about what you do, kind of the structure, the fee structure. Just what if someone was considering working with you or to learn more about ownership through franchising, what does that look like?
Yeah. So, 4,000 franchise companies, that's just extremely overwhelming. That gives me anxiety just thinking about that number. So, when you reverse engineer the process, figure out what's more important to you, paint the picture, have that blank canvas. What do the hours look like? How many employees? What do your employees look like as far as are they managers? Are they hands-on doing the actual work? Is it a service? Is it, working with your employees? Is it a lot of, minimum wage, maybe something a little bit more high turnover, or, two employees, maybe they're managers or general managers. So there's a lot to consider, but, working with someone like myself, and I'm not obviously the only person that does it, but in my book, Franchise Freedom, we show you how to figure it out, or you can kind of make the process much quicker and not waste the time and work with someone like myself. Our fee structure is very simple. There are no contracts, and we don't charge for our services. What's the catch? Very simply put, we are similar to an executive recruiter. When you get placed in a job, you don't pay anything. Same thing with me. I get compensated directly from the franchise companies. Does that make a difference as far as your investment? Absolutely not. Franchise companies will work with us, and they have us bring to them candidates that fit, the ideal candidate that franchisor is looking for. So that's basically it. We help figure out what the right franchisees. We check territories, making sure that the investment level is in line with what that investment is going to be for the franchise company. We put everyone through a 4-step process, which is essentially anyone. So this means anyone has a question on franchising or business ownership. I have that call personally, and I respond to every email personally. I do a 20-minute intro right fit call to see if we're a good fit, or to provide any advice and maybe possibly work down the road. they have access to my book, my podcast, and we do free webinars on a weekly basis. And we're always in contact. If we feel like we're a good fit and franchising does seem to be a good fit for that candidate, we do a second call. We call it a consultation. It's about 60 minutes. We take a deep dive as to, what's the motivating factor for looking at a business? What does the business look like? And we go into extreme detail, followed by our step 3 in the process is building a model. What does your ideal business look like? We put that together for you, send that to you, followed by taking a look at 2 or 3 franchise companies that really match specifically what you're looking for, that has territory available, that is in the investment range, et cetera, for what you're looking for. And then step 4 is we make the introductions. So we are not here to say this is the best franchise, you should invest in it. We always say these are a few companies that best match what you're looking for. Let's make the intros. And on a case where maybe those 2 intros, maybe they just don't fit, we can always go back, make some adjustments to that model, and maybe look at another 1 or 2 franchise companies. But we coach you throughout the whole process. What are the questions you should be asking to the franchisor, as well as the existing franchisees? You're going to be able to speak with the franchisees in the system. So we're going to be coaching you through the process, making sure, if you need to find an attorney to review the franchise agreement, we put you in touch or refer someone. And then going forward, you invest in the franchise, we still work with you, staying in touch. If you're looking to expand, are we growing horizontally, vertically? We put together a game plan, and I'm with you for life. So you're stuck with me if we start working together, as I jokingly say. But even if you're a student, I talk to schools all the time, universities. If you're thinking about business ownership, are looking at franchising versus startup, give me a call. We always do that 20-minute phone call and put together a plan. I'm maybe talking again in the near future.
Awesome. Again, we don't sell things on this program, but I believe in so much in what you're doing, especially helping people have that opportunity for ownership under that franchise structure. I think it's great. We've got some clients that are in the franchise space as well. You've helped over 100 people escape the corporate trap and transition to the freedom of franchise ownership. Can you share a few examples of just some success stories?
Yeah, so I talk about it in my book. I've helped well over 1,000 people, and
wow.
And when I say 1,000, these are people that sometimes I've convinced them not to own a business or not to own a franchise. We've had a lot of success stories. Recently with people that are employed full time, and this couple that was this individual. Employed full time, wasn't sure if he was going to lose his job due to the pandemic and everything going on, and decided to invest in a franchise. And we call that semi-absentee ownership. And basically, he's able to keep his job, run the business on his spare time, and hire a general manager to run the business. So he's at the point where potentially he can leave his job, and replace his income and run the business, either with the GM and expand into other territories and other states. And we've had other success stories where, someone came to us and they were unfortunately recently laid off. So they didn't have that option of semi-absentee. They were either furloughed or laid off. But in this particular case, they were laid off. Job didn't look like it was going to be replaced anytime soon. And that made that individual think about, do I really want to go back to a job? Do I really want to make that 1 hour or plus commute into the office? So we refer that individual to a franchise that could be run on their own, no employees to start, and it's a B2B type franchise where they're looking into business coaching, marketing, and things like that. So they're essentially helping small businesses, which is huge right now because so many people don't know what direction or where to pivot given the pandemic. What they should be doing with their businesses. So we help. We say we help corporate executives, try to get additional time and financial freedom, but we are able to assist the employee looking for that safety net in the event that they lose their job. They have that backup, that insurance. We help the existing business owner expand their portfolio, build out an exit strategy. So if you have any interest in this area, give me a call. It'll cost you 20 minutes of your time, and would love to speak with you and see if I can help out in any way.
Yeah, thank you, Giuseppe. Can you share more about your contact information where people can go and learn more about you?
Sure. You can go right to the website. Everything is on there. So it's GG, my initials, because the name is so hard to spell, the franchise guide, GUIDE.com. So GG, the franchise guide.com. You have a podcast, 40 plus episodes. There's a webinar that we host, as well as just some interesting articles, blog posts, things like that. You can also grab 20 minutes on my calendar. There's a calendar link there. So feel free, look at the podcast, watch the videos. And if you want to call me directly, you can contact me. My number's on there, but it's 908-873-6134. Contact me directly. Be more than glad to discuss, what you're looking to do, where I can assist. And you know what? We have a lot of referral partners. Maybe I can't help you directly. We can always put you in touch. We've helped people look at executive recruiters and other business brokers on, non-franchise. So if I can't help you directly, there's, a good chance I can find someone that can help you directly. So
awesome. Giuseppe Grammatico. It's ggthefranchiseguide.com. For our listeners, again, I know Giuseppe. I've had the chance to with Aaron Walker and introduced us and been a guest on his podcast and seen what he's doing and have a lot of trust there with how he's helping others. And again, there's no obligation here. So if you're just curious about what it can look like to have that kind of ownership, you heard him graciously share his phone number over the airwaves here, which was a bold move, Giuseppe, to do. But I appreciate you doing that and how open you are and how you're helping others. And I know that works for your model. So any final thoughts you want to share with us?
No, I just think, figure out not the franchise, is it the Subway, is it McDonald's? Don't even worry about that. There's different industries, different investment levels. Do some soul searching, figure out if you want to take this journey. As I mentioned, it's not an easy journey, but it's definitely well worth it. And figure that part out. Don't worry about the businesses. That's the actual easy part, in my opinion. But figure out, and what the business looks like. And if don't pick a business based off of what you think will make the most amount of money. Pick a business that will kind of work within, okay, I would love a business I could work from home, but I think retail can make more money. That's not the case. It's the business that matches what you're looking for, that's sustainable, that's a good match that you will do well in. So put all that to rest, figure out, if you want to work from home, great. If you want no employees, great. There's no right or wrong answers, and we can figure it out. And for everyone listening as well, if you go to the website and click on the book tab, I give my book away for free. It's a lot of my advice. If you're not ready for a phone call, download the link. It's a free 50-page ebook, and it's a wealth of information. It'll get you started. And when you're ready, I'm ready. Give me a call or send me an email. I'll be more than glad to speak with you.
Awesome. Thanks for your generosity. Giuseppe Grammatico. You can go to ggthefranchiseguide.com. Thanks again, Giuseppe. We appreciate what you're doing and look forward to following the next great things that you do.
Awesome. Derek, I appreciate it. Thanks again.
Hey, thank you.
You've been listening to the Business Leadership Series, where we engage with leaders who are making an impact on their worlds and who want to share their knowledge and experience for your personal and professional growth. This interview was designed to inspire you to become the best leader you can be.